What happened when your unit's untouchable NCO finally crossed the wrong person? Staff Sergeant Garrett Pruitt had been running our company like his personal kingdom for 3 years. Guys who crossed him got the worst details, the most dangerous patrols, their leave requests mysteriously denied. Command loved him because he kept our numbers looking good. The rest of us just kept our heads down and counted the days. I watched him destroy careers for sport. Specialist Everett got an Article 15 for insubordination after questioning Pruitt's decision to skip vehicle maintenance. 2 weeks later, that Humvee's transmission failed during a convoy, nearly got 4 guys killed. Pruitt blamed Everett for inadequate pre-mission checks. The kid got busted down to private and transferred. Pruitt had this way of smiling while he ruined you. Cold eyes, perfect uniform, always by the book, at least on paper. In reality, he was skimming fuel, trading favors with contractors, and covering his tracks with paperwork so complex that nobody wanted to dig through it. I'd seen the discrepancies in the supply logs, so had others. But who were we going to tell? His golf buddy was the battalion XO. Then Private First Class Sterling Kemp arrived. Quiet kid, maybe 22, looked like he'd blow away in a strong wind. Pruitt spotted easy prey immediately. "Kemp, you're on every shit detail until I say otherwise," Pruitt announced at formation. "Burn pit duty, latrine cleaning, and you'll be my personal driver. Maybe you'll learn some discipline." I felt bad for the kid, but what could I do? We all had 10 months left in this deployment. Survival meant staying invisible. For 6 weeks, Kemp said nothing. Drove Pruitt around base, cleaned his office, nodded at every insult. But I noticed things. How Kemp's eyes tracked every conversation. How he'd pull out a small notebook during vehicle inspections, jotting down numbers. The way he'd pause outside the supply office, listening. "Hey, you okay?" I asked him once, watching him scrub toilets at 2200 hours. "Fine, Sergeant," he said softly. "Just taking notes." The breaking point came when Pruitt accused Kemp of stealing diesel fuel. Completely fabricated charge. Pruitt needed a scapegoat because a surprise audit was coming, and 400 gallons had disappeared on his watch. "Court-martial," Pruitt smiled at the formation. "Theft of government property. Kemp's done." That's when Kemp finally spoke up. His voice was calm, almost gentle. "Sir, before you do that, you might want to call this number." He handed Pruitt a business card. Pruitt's face went white. Actually white. I'd never seen him rattled. "Where did you—" "My father," Kemp said simply. "Thought you might remember him. Lieutenant General Sterling Kemp, Senior U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command. You worked for him at Fort Bragg in 2015, right before you got quietly transferred for supply irregularities that he couldn't quite prove." The air left the formation. Pruitt stood frozen. "I've been documenting everything for 6 weeks," Kemp continued, still in that soft voice. "Fuel theft, contractor kickbacks, falsified reports, took photos, recorded conversations, all legal under Article 31 since I witnessed crimes being committed. My father's very interested in finally closing his case on you." Kemp pulled out a folder from his cargo pocket. It was thick. "I also took the liberty of forwarding copies to the Inspector General, the base commander, and a couple of investigative journalists my father knows. Time-stamped, encrypted, sent 3 days ago. Can't be unsent." I felt my jaw hanging open. This quiet kid who'd cleaned toilets without complaint had been running a one-man sting operation. Pruitt tried to speak, couldn't form words. "Oh, and Sergeant," Kemp added, "I wasn't ever actually PFC. That was just where I needed to be to observe you up close. I'm Captain Kemp, Special Agent CID. My gear's already packed. My team is on the way. You have the right to remain silent." 2 years later, I ran into Kemp, Captain Kemp, at a promotion ceremony. He'd taken down 3 more corrupt NCOs using similar undercover operations. Pruitt was serving 7 years in Leavenworth, and his buddy the XO had quietly retired to avoid his own investigation. The kicker? The Army made Kemp's techniques into official training doctrine for CID undercover operations. They even named it after him, the Kemp Protocol. Sometimes the quiet kid cleaning toilets is exactly who you should be afraid of.